Howdy. All right, so I just wanted to come on real quick and report about how things are going, with keeping in mind that what I'm doing in the moment is my purpose. That's the light in the car going off. So now we're alone together in the dark. So yeah, so that is very much helping. Like right now, I'm reminding myself, right now, doing what you're doing is the most important thing. It's your purpose to do this. So I'm feeling more in my body and my stress levels are down. And it's funny, I was just walking from the store to the car. It's a little rainy out. And I was thinking to myself, okay, what you're doing is your purpose. And I looked at the car and I thought to myself, your purpose is getting to that car. And then I realized, like, no. The purpose is to walk in the rain right now, to walk. Every step I'm taking is my purpose. And the, like, secondary purpose, that's the primary purpose. The secondary purpose is getting to the car. And that feels good. It's a lot more peaceful. And also on the subject of acceptance. So there's this event that I was sure I was going to go to, but I am not able to attend, down in Florida, at which I thought that I would have the opportunity to get a lot of clients. And, you know, at first, when I first started realizing, like, oh, I can't really do this, like, at first I didn't accept it. I didn't accept that I wouldn't be able to do this. I was like, no, I'm going, I'm going to figure it out. But it started feeling very familiar. Because every single time I've gone down to an event in Florida, usually it's the summit, but every single time I've gone down to an event there, I've forced it. Because I would have barely enough to make it there. Sometimes I wouldn't even have the money for the hotel room. I just trusted that it would come to me. I thought that I would be making money at the conference. There were clients that owed me money that I thought would be paying while I was there. Stuff like that. And it was like, okay, well, it's going to happen. And then the stress and anxiety builds up behind it because you know, there's that stress of not having the money, not being able to provide for yourself. And, well, how am I going to get the money to do this? Like, if this isn't coming through, how's this going to happen? And every single time when the conference, what the fuck? Shit, I didn't make any money here. I got to do this. I got to do that. Super dark, huh? Let's do that. All right. So I was, so that would be the case. And right now, I could do the same thing. The plane tickets have been bought. The room is booked. I could jump on the plane and go down there and hope that money would magically appear in my account via one of the several ways right now that it could come to. And a couple of different things that have not transpired. And they will, but I'm not going to trust that they will in the next week. I thought they would, but it's clear that they won't. And that's fine. And at first I was like in my head, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go, like several weeks ago, I'm not going to go unless I have $10,000 in my account. So, you know, I'm going to manifest $10,000. I've got $10,000 in my account. There's $10,000 in the company's account, and I'm just like manifesting it. And then like it kind of went down to like, well, I have to have at least 5,000. Like 10,000 is great, but 5,000, I absolutely, like bare minimum, I need to have 5,000 in my account so that I can go down, cover my costs, and enjoy myself, and come back and not have to be concerned about where the next money is coming from. And then a few more days passed, and it was like, okay, 4,000. If there are $4,000 in my account, I can do this. But 4,000 is the cutoff. And even while I was saying these things to myself, I didn't believe them. I was like telling, I don't know who, I guess I was telling the universe that this was what happened, but I was actually lying, and I knew I was lying, and obviously she knows that I'm lying. So, maybe that's the lesson here, or it is a lesson that I can take from it. But, yeah. I kind of realized like a few days ago, I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Like I was putting together, like I've done this before. It feels really familiar. The stress that comes out of it is not enjoyable. Not only is it enjoyable, but it like really takes a lot out of me, and I won't enjoy myself there. You know, it's already a place where, I mean, while the people are awesome, I don't feel comfortable being myself. You know what I mean? Like I never feel like I can relax there and just be who I am. Because it's a long story. It's not really a long story. People there think I'm very emotional, and it's so funny because like I hold back so much, and they're like, "You're so emotional," and I'm like, like if I actually let forth my actual personality, these people would be fucking horrified. They're not horrified, but scared and not like me, and that's fine. That's fine, but I need these people to like me. Anyway. Brain is moving through the thoughts. So yeah, so I was putting this together like I've done this before and it's not enjoyable. And I'm saying this to the universe and I know that I'm lying. Let's put these two things together and say, no, you know what? And this felt really good. I was like, you know what? If I don't have the money in the account, I'm not going to go down. Like, and it was still like, is that true? Am I not going to go down? No, this is something. And I, when I made the decision though, it felt really like a relief, right? Like, okay. And then I started looking for positives on the other side of it, you know, like, well, if I don't go down, I can do this or this happens and blah, blah, blah. But I'm kind of wishing that I didn't find the positives because, well, no, you know what? This is a good stepping stone because at some point soon, I want to have a situation wherein something happens that I don't like, but I want to be able to accept it and not have to know why it's okay. Just be like, okay, that's how it is. Right now, it's like, okay, but here's why it's all right. Like, you're late. And I know this is total vanity, but like you're 30 pounds heavier than the last time these people saw you and you don't want them to see you that way. You know what I mean? Like, and there's other things I can do while I'm here. You know, like I can work on my clients' books and get them done and it's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, and then I think, you know, on the other hand, I'm like, God, if I went down there though, maybe I could get some clients. But then it's like, but you know what? If that's what is meant to happen, that's what would happen. And who knows what's going to come out of me staying up here? You know what I mean? Who knows? It's going to be for the best, whether or not I think it is. It's, you know what I mean? Like it is going to be for the greater good. Whether or not I enjoy it. So yeah, that's the decision. I was giving it to, actually, you know, I did extend the deadline. I was like, I have to have the money in my account by Friday. And then I was like, by Monday. I kept pushing the deadline, but this is the absolute last moments that I can, because I have to reschedule the flight at least within 24 hours, and I need to cancel the reservation at the hotel. So that's what I'm going to do after we get off this call. Sorry, I just thought something else just jumped in my head. I am doing this right now. This is the most important thing. It's funny when I'm saying to myself, like, okay, this is not the most important, it is, but this is the purpose of my moment right now. This moment, the present, my entire purpose is to sit here and talk to you. But then, like, it's hard because I become so absorbed in that like, it's hard to think enough to have the words come out of my mouth and to know what I want to say. So I'm working on that balance here, right? Like being present, also being able to speak. So that's a little balance that I'm working out. But so, okay, sorry, I just lost I just lost the thread of what I was saying. So yeah, I kept putting the dates back. It's now time that I need to cancel everything and reschedule the flights. Because Expedia is a bitch about that anyway. And, you know, I mean, like, go down at a different time. Or go somewhere at a different time. Personally, right now, I want to have, like, silly, stupid fun. So I really do want to go to Orlando. But Whatever, it'll happen. It's just not for this particular trip. And that's okay for a number of reasons that I wish that I didn't have to have those reasons, but this is stepping stones, right? Like, we're on our way to that point at which I can say, you know what, I might not like this, but I can accept it. Which brings me to, I was just, when I drive around, I put like Eckhart Tolle on. Right now I'm obsessed with Eckhart Tolle. Before it was Michael Singer, and I still am obsessed with him, but right now I'm trying to get Eckhart Tolle in there. And so that sound, if you can hear it, is my toes rubbing on my shoes. It's not me farting. I was just listening, and he was talking about how there are 3 modalities in which you have to do something, or you're basically creating suffering for yourself and others. The first is acceptance, the second is enjoyment, the third is enthusiasm. And like, basically, you know, you don't have to like something, but you have to accept it. Because if you don't accept it, you're fighting with reality. And while I have a Kung Fu black belt in fighting with reality, you know who always wins in that fight? Reality. Never will you win you know, in the fight with reality. If you win the fight with reality, you should go and get some help, because you'll be delusional. That's what that is, right? So you don't have to like things to accept them. And when you accept them, truly accepting them, not just like, fine, but like, okay. It's hard to get there, right? It's hard to get there because we don't want to accept the things that we don't want happening. You know what I mean? But if we relax and release and we practice doing that, and it's like, okay, so I can't go to the summit. So I might be missing opportunities to get clients. But you know what? I'm not, because if I'm not going down there, that's in the universe's plan. Because if the universe planned on me going down there, she would have made it possible for me. And right now it's not. And I made it plenty of opportunities through which she could have made it possible. And she hasn't. So I couldn't get more clients because I can't go down there. So that just is a silly thing to think. Like, oh, I could have done this. No, I couldn't, because it didn't happen. So I couldn't have done that because it didn't happen. Such a weird roundabout way, but also makes sense. So yeah, I'm feeling much more comfortable with acceptance, and at least in this case, we'll see down the line when I come up against something else that I don't like and I don't want to be true. We don't know what will happen then. But right now, I'm good with accepting what I'm doing and having my purpose be whatever it is that I'm doing in the moment. My primary purpose and the secondary purpose is why I'm doing that. Like walking across the parking lot to get to the car. The walking in every moment is the purpose. To get to the car or to get to the other side is the other. It's like, why did the chicken cross the road? Why? To cross the road. Anyway, that's my new funny little joke. I'm sure someone said it before though. Anyway, yes. So acceptance in the moment. There's a lot of peace there that I'm finding. And for some reason, I always thought when I find that, it's going to snap. I'm going to snap into that thought, and it's going to make sense. And it's going to be this feeling of like relief. It's going to be this, oh, okay, I get it now. But it might work like that for some people. I don't think that's how it's working for me. I think it's a gradual, it's putting this knowledge into my head of all these truths, these quite honestly, like people are like, oh, it's woo woo and stuff. And it's like, actually, the stuff you believe is crazy. And the stuff I'm talking about is the only thing that makes sense. But, you know, it's weird. It's weird. Cause I mean, I've always been considered like the weird kid, not the weird kid, but like in my family, I was like, you know, the weird one. And amongst my friends, you know, we were all like very, very cool, very, you know, hippie, not hippie, but like, that's what people called us. Cause there were no hippies in the 90s, right? It was just grunge people. And then anyway, that's a diversion. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I was always really like, of people that I knew, I was the one that was into like the woo-woo stuff. But then like, as I have progressed into all this the spiritual stuff, it actually comes out of personal development. It doesn't come from like, oh, a religious awakening. It's like, I want to make myself better, so this is how I do it. And then you gradually discover, actually, this is the truth. Like, and it's not the truth the way some religions think of it. I'm not going to say Christianity, but I'll say Christianity. Well, you know what though? Any religion that tells everybody it is the only, okay, I'm getting off on that. This is a completely pointless tangent. My point is that I totally lost the thread. I am working on acceptance, and it's just, I mean, it's understanding, like just coming into contact with these ideas. Sometimes I feel really bad because a lot of the stuff was stuff like, and this sounds like I was so smart, but I was. And when I was a teenager, like a lot of these concepts I'm coming up against are concepts I had when I was a teenager. I just never sat with them. I never pursued them. You know what I mean? And sometimes it bothers the hell out of me. It's like, God, I could have been so much further ahead. But again, I couldn't, because that's not what happened. But if that feels more like, oh, it could have happened, than like because it was choices I made, you know. It feels more like that could have happened, because then this not going down to Florida thing, because this not going down to Florida thing is there's external realities preventing me from going down there. There's other stuff where it's like, I wasn't enlightened or anything like that, but I had these basic concepts of Buddhism and stuff like that in my mind as a teenager. And I didn't stay with that. I didn't explore that more. And it kills me a little. And then, you know, there was a certain amount that I stayed in it when I was younger. And then, you know, my life kind of fell apart due to my own things. You know, we take responsibility for what happens in our lives. My choices created problems. And, you know, those choices were influenced by where my state of mind was, and that, you know, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But, I'm trying not to feel bad about that, because I just feel like I could have been so much further ahead. There's so many things that I look back at where it's like, oh, well, yeah, I consciously made the choice not to go there, and I should have listened to myself. There are many times in life where I knew what the right answer was, and I'm sure other people have this, but like I didn't do it because that's not what I wanted. And it's like, you know, that would have been a better idea. like that would have been a better choice to make. Anyway, point being, finding the stuff, like realizing these realities, like here's a reality that like you can't really what's the word? I'm a writer. I use words. I use words good. You can't really, right now I want to say controvert, but it's not, you can't really fight against us. That's not the word I want, but let's just move on with the sentence. You can't really fight against the fact that the only moment we ever have is actually this moment, the present moment, and that anything in the past was moments that have passed, and everything in the future are now moments that will happen. The only thing we have is right now at this moment. There's no fighting that. You know what I mean? There's like, that is truth. Like, it's truth. So why, if you want to experience life, it has to be in this moment. If you want to enjoy life or accept life or whatever it is, you want to be in life, you have to be in this moment. Otherwise, you're in your head, which is I have a black belt in that, and causing suffering for yourself and for others. So there's no fighting that. You know what I mean? There's fighting things like, there's a million different things that you could fight in other religions where you're like, and I'm not just talking about Christianity, any religion that, you know, is really, how do I say this? Has a story to it that comes from like the Iron Age. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a story that's been around and passed down orally through hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, to reach today, there's a good chance that some of it might not be true. Because it is a remnant of when people didn't understand certain truths, right? And I'm not saying it's beautiful. I love religion. I think any person who is in any religion is calling out and reaching out for their God. They want to be in touch with the divine, and that is gorgeous. That is beauty, right? But you can only be in touch with the divine in this moment. You can't yesterday, and you can't tomorrow. The only time that you're truly in touch with the divine is in the moment. And the only way to do that is to be in the moment. Truth. So that's what I'm working on, being in the moment, and accepting what's going on. And I just kind of want to come on here and give you that update. It's going well. My purpose is what I'm doing right now. It's just, I come in and out of it because I'm talking to you, and then I'm in my head thinking about what I'm going to say. And then like I stop and I look at my hands and my legs and I'm like, I'm here right now. I'm sure I'll find the balance where I can think that, feel that way, and still talk. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I can see this spiritual growth, this acceptance, this not living in my head as much. And there are things that I want to do that I'm thinking about that I think I'm meant to do. We'll see. Because I'm not going down there. Anyway, there are things in the work in my brain. In the works in my brain. We'll see what happens. But I'm grateful for all of that. I'm really grateful for that. So even if something in your life is not going the way you want it to, or the way you thought you wanted it to, you can always choose to have a grateful evening. It's an evening time, right? Yeah, evening. Bye.